And now, please sit back, relax, and enjoy the show.
Hey there, Gumshoes! How are we doing tonight? Great! I'm doing absolutely peachy myself. Oh, why do you ask? Well, if you don't know me, I'm Amy O'Neil, girl detective. I'm known for solving mysteries with my keen observational skills, my powers of deduction, and my encyclopedic knowledge of online gay drama. With these things, and my trusty magnifying glass, I've solved cases all over the world. From the pup-napping at Pride to the filching of Folsom, I've cracked the LGBTQ community's toughest cases. So why am I doing so peachy? Well, Gumshoes, there's nothing a girl detective loves more than a good mystery. And let me tell you, this case I've got might just be my toughest one yet. But don't worry, Gumshoes. If we keep our wits, hang on to our magnifying glasses, and remember to look out for each other, I know we'll be able to solve this caper lickety-split. And you can hold me to that. It's a girl detective's promise. So, are you excited? Great! Well then, everybody, let's all grab our notepads, put on our thinking caps, and get ready to solve the case of the missing dolls. But first, it's important that we're all on the same page. We're trying to solve the case of the missing dolls. So tell me, do you know what a doll is? Clap if you know what a doll is. Okay, let's do a little refresher, just in case. You see, a doll is a kind of girl. A very special kind of girl. For starters, a doll will usually be a little on the taller side. She might have a beautifully husky voice, an enchanting jawline, and a dazzling selection of combat jackets. Dolls also have a wide variety of interests. A doll might like rock climbing, role-playing video games, or even poppers. Some even like all three. So, Gumshoes, do you know the kind of girl I'm talking about? Clap if you know the kind of girl I'm talking about. Great! Now, before we begin, I have a bit of a confession to make. You see, I hope I'm not pitting girls against each other by saying this, but out of all the girls in the world, I love the dolls the most. And that's pretty good news for me because I am a doll. Although I don't really know that many dolls in real life. But I did meet a doll today. She was the one who handed me the case this morning, the one I'm gonna need your help on. Wait a minute, I'm realizing I never told you what happened this morning, did I? Let's rewind a bit. The place, the bustling big city streets of Wooster, Ohio. The year, 2024. The cigar of choice, ballpoint pen. The unlucky sap, yours truly. You see, I was up all night pondering some cold cases. Cases like, where is Amelia Earhart? Who really was Jack the Ripper? And how many rotating cubes do you have to picture in your head to be considered legally male? Because, Gumshoes, I love mysteries. I love mysteries like the sun loves the moon, like the bees love the flowers, and like the rain loves the asphalt. I chase mysteries, the way a dog chases a cat, and the way a queer influencer chases respectability. When I get my hands on a good mystery, I hold on to it, the way a G-man holds on to uranium. It was just my luck, too, because a new mystery fell into my lap with a knock on the office door. The knock was louder than a coward at the McCarthy hearings. I looked around, rattled, but before I knew it, before I could even blink, almost by apparition, the most beautiful doll I'd ever laid eyes on was sitting at my desk. world-famous girl detective. Now, let me give you a free detective tip, Gumshoes. When you're solving a mystery, you never want to let your guard down around anyone. Anybody could be the culprit. So that means that everybody has to be a suspect, no matter how nice they seem. So look closely at what happens next. I want to show you how a girl detective keeps her wits about her, no matter who she's talking to. You're pretty. The doll explained to me that she was a nice girl, done bad by a screwed up world. She always tried to do right by the men in her life, and they would always leave, sooner or later. Men would always tell her they felt trapped by her, when all she ever wanted to do was give them her heart. I felt rotten that such a nice girl was made out to be someone so nefarious. But, sadly, the life of a doll isn't always sunshine and rainbows. Which brings us to her business for meeting with me. I've been keeping track of something for a little while now. See, I think something's been happening to dolls as of late. They've been disappearing. Or, to put a finer point on it, we've been disappearing. Now, I've been looking into these disappearances. Some, the police file as murders. Others, that say the doll skipped town. But I've been looking into these disappearances. I know they're connected. I can feel it in the cracked up, beaten down thing I call a heart. I've tried solving this mystery myself, but I'm afraid I'm no girl detective. I'm afraid I'm just a broken doll, one who spent too much time peeking through the playroom windows. Not enough time looking at the door. I'd like to hand this case over to you, Miss O'Neil. Would you do that for me? Would you carry my burden? Sure. I took the envelope. I reached into my desk to put it away, but when I sat back up, the doll had vanished. Just as quickly as she came into my life, she was gone, and out the door. Which brings us to now. She left a case for us full of missing dolls. So I think what we should do is go through each doll's disappearance, one by one. If we look closely, I know we'll find a connection. Huh. This can't be right. This is Maddie Debates. Maddie Debates? You guys know Maddie Debates, right? Wow, really? Maddie Debates is a legend among dolls, a legend in the whole LGBTQ community. Back in the day, she would make these 3-hour videos about why it was rational to support dolls, or even rational to be a doll yourself. I used to love her videos back in the day. She would always start by playing a video clip of some really awful conservative. So this is just another example of why these dolls, or so-called women, are not true biological females. I have in front of me an online post written by one of the dolls. Let me read it now. It reads, "Slunking on her D-word is genitalia, slunking on her D-word silly style until she well, as you can see, it gets more graphic from there. Now, the obvious lewdness of that post aside, 30,000 likes on that post, by the way, really shows where we are as a society. It proves that dolls are not true biological females. Because unlike what this post seems to claim, it's a basic fact that women, as we all know, do not have sex for pleasure. My wife has confirmed this for me many times. And then, once she set up her opponent as a real villain, she would use critical analysis to knock him down. She could always out-logic the logic boys and beat them at their own game. Wow. You know, I know that I'm the depraved sexual pervert here, so take this with a grain of salt. But I have to think that organizing your entire sense of politics around the sex you're having is an act of libacious hedonism so debaucherous that it would make the Marquis de Sade himself wet with jealousy. Now, my sweets, in a vain attempt to focus on just one thing in that absolute gift of a block quote, let's begin with an analysis of how heteronormativity has been used to control women's reproductive habits since the Middle Ages. Now, maybe that doesn't seem like much today, but that's only because of how influential Maddie Debates was. We're used to hour-long gender seminars on the internet today. But back then, the only videos on gender were about how feminism was destroying video games by giving female characters emotions. At the time, Maddie was an inspiration. She fought the worst people on the internet and won, with nothing more than her wits and a camera. Her videos are what made me want to become a girl detective in the first place. And I guess she's gone missing. Hello? Anybody out there? You know, I haven't watched a Maddie Debates video in a couple of years. Let's see if there's anything in her file that might give us some clues. Huh. It says here that back in 2021, there was an online controversy around Maddie Debates. It had something to do with comments she made on a live stream all the way back in 2017. Yeah, no doubt. And so basically what I'm trying to do is recognize that, like, hey, most people are not going to immediately know what being trans is, right? So what I'm trying to do with the channel is come up with, well-researched, nuanced arguments about what being transgender is to people who might be skeptical. And to me, there are a lot better arguments to make than, oh, I'm not a man because I don't identify as a man, Anything that begins with, oh, I identify as this, so I'm valid, seems very flimsy to me. It's hard telling everyone you're a doll. Want to prove yourself and try to come up with reason after reason for why it makes sense to be this way. I get wanting to justify your existence, but it usually just gets you or other people hurt. Shoes, I don't want to waste all my time justifying why I exist. Instead, I want to make the world see me for who I am. So when that video resurfaced, people didn't take it well. They started calling Maddie a bigot, a traitor, a bootlicker. Somebody even compared her to George Bush. They started threatening her, doxing her, calling her by a different name. She ended up deleting all of her social media, and I can see why. I think that Maddie was getting a lot of her support from people online, and, well, can I say something maybe controversial? I think that sometimes people online can get really, really upset about things that aren't really that big of a deal. That's just a theory, though. Still, that's why I don't go online that much anymore. And why I'm lucky that you guys are my friends. Anyway, with her social media deleted, no one heard from Maddie until she released a response video a few months later. It's funny. For the last 5 years, I've been getting harassed, doxxed, and had my life threatened almost daily. I have transitioned very publicly on the internet. I thought I developed a thick skin for this kind of thing. But it's easy to dismiss the harassment when it's coming from alt-right shitheels and image board Nazis. It's a lot harder when the call is coming from inside the house. Over the last few months, the online left has succeeded in doing what the incels never could. They ostracized me from my own community. They dragged me, kicking and screaming, out of the only home I've ever really had, and locked the door behind me. Following the release of her video, Maddie Debates made the rounds on the left-wing podcast circuit, where hosts would bring her on to talk about cancel culture. The last podcast she did was in January of 2022. She hasn't been seen since. Honestly, Gumshoes, I'm stumped. Maddie's last video had millions of views. She was still famous and influential online. So what happened? What made her disappear? Let's take a look at the suspects. I think the most obvious suspects are the people she upset. The file mentioned a few accounts on social media that did a lot of the posting. We've got @turf puncher, @we go high, blowjobs, Bob. And then I think we should put the podcasters down as a suspect too. They were the last ones to see Maddie debates. The awful conservative should also be a suspect. They've had it out for Maddie forever. Oh, I know! He was in the case file, right in front of our noses. Well, okay, maybe not. Still though, who else could it have been? This is everyone listed in the file. Who else could have made her disappear? Honestly, Gumshoes, I'm not sure about any of these suspects. These social media accounts might have been the loudest voices, but there were hundreds of people online that were angry at Maddie. It's not like any one of them was the mastermind. Besides, most of the people mad at her were feminists. They might fight, but they wouldn't make a woman disappear. The awful conservatives definitely have the motive, but Maddie said it wasn't them in her response video. It could be the podcasters. No, actually, I don't think a podcaster could pull this off. So unless Maddie did this herself. Let's take a look at the next file. It might help us make sense of this one. Oh no. Oh no, 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 no. This is Sophia Castro. No, no, no. You guys know Sophia Castro. Really? She was one of the founding members of the Gay Equality Alliance. She gave that famous gay power speech in 1974. In the 60s, she planned over 30 demonstrations by herself. She's one of the mothers of the entire community. No, no, I don't accept this. One of the most famous dolls in history can't just disappear without a trace. You know what?
Castro Center, empowering women to live their most intersectional lives. How can I help you?
Hi, I was wondering.
Oh, I'm sorry, sir. Would you like me to connect you to our ally hotline?
No, I'm a girl. I'm actually...
Oh, right, of course. My pronouns are...
Oh, it's fine.
She.
You don't need to.
Her.
Thanks. I was just wondering...
Hers.
Okay. I wanted to ask...
What are your pronouns?
She, her. I wanted to ask...
And? sharing our pronouns, we can make our spaces just a little bit more comfortable for LGBTQIA+ people.
Uh-huh.
How can I help you today?
I actually wanted to ask about Sophia. I saw something today that said she just disappeared after 1974. I was wondering if you knew anything about what she did after.
Oh, absolutely. Sophia Castro was a pioneering women's and LGBTQIA+ activist in the 1960s and 70s. Her work with the Gay Equality Alliance culminated in her inspiring 1974 Gay Power speech.
I know that. Do you know what happened to her after?
Oh, after? Well, we mostly focus on her early years. Let me pull up our file on her post-74 work. Ah, found it. Okay. It says here that after 1974, Sophia Castro continued her activism on the planet Neptune. Does that help?
The planet Neptune? Are you serious?
Maybe they meant Neptune, New Jersey? Honestly, it's so hard to keep track of anyone outside of New York.
That's what? Okay, whatever. There's really no trace of her after 74?
Nope, doesn't look like it. Maybe look on Neptune?
Thanks.
No problem. Is there anything else I can help you with?
I'm really good.
Sounds great. Before I let you go, I want to apologize for how I treated you on this call.
You do?
I do. You see, when I said empowering women to live their most intersectional lives, I should have said empowering women and non-binary people to live their most intersectional lives. Sorry about that. Times sure are changing, but I keep forgetting.
Thank you. Okay, it looks like Sophia really is gone. But what made her disappear? Maybe her gay power speech is connected. It says here that she gave this speech at a rally in 1974. The movement was getting really popular by then. Apparently, Sophia wanted to speak. But a lot of gay activists didn't want a doll speak at the rally. The Gynocrats, a lesbian feminist organization that had clashed with Sophia in the past, blocked her way to the stage. Sophia, of course, didn't care what they thought. She rushed the stage anyway. No! No, you will let me speak! I have been beaten and spit on for gay liberation! You will let me speak! Everything you have because of us! And the second you don't need us anymore, you threw us away! Like we're some toy you're done playing with! I have given my life for gay liberation! And you treat me this way! When gay people are homeless and starving and beaten and in jail, they don't come to you! Because they know that you only care about the gay people who are white and middle class! They come to me! They come to the drag queen! Because they know that the second you didn't need us anymore, you showed all of us the door! Gay power! Gay power! That speech was given on September 23rd, 1974. No one in the Gay Equality Alliance saw Sophia again. I can't believe I didn't know about this. Sophia gave her life for us, for all of us. And one day she just disappeared. No one even cared. And if Sophia Castro can disappear, any of us can. Who's there? It can wait. Let's take another look at the suspects. I think the first logical suspect here is the Gynocrats. They were fighting with Sophia the day she disappeared. Or if it wasn't them, maybe it was the Gay Equality Alliance. It seemed like everyone there had it out for her anyway. And I think we have to say that Sophia is also a suspect. But wait, this doesn't make any sense. I know the gynocrats were fighting with Maddie, but I'm sorry, no feminist would do this to another woman. And none of the suspects in the Maddie Debates case are in the Castro case at all. It's not like there were any podcasters or social media accounts in the 70s. And most of the conservatives that hated Maddie weren't even alive in 74. It could be George Bush. No, it couldn't. These cases just don't have anything in common. But I know they're connected. I can feel it. I just don't know how to prove it. Okay, maybe looking closer isn't the answer. The problem is that there's so many little details in both of these cases. I'm getting hung up on them, but they're not helping me with the big picture. Two cases, 50 years apart. The crime is the same, but with no suspects in common. Then the culprit has to be something bigger. The suspects are just pawns. There's a bigger game at play. I've been zooming in when I should have been zooming out. Ignore the little details. Focus on the pattern. Focus on what these cases share. Gumshoes, I'm starting to see the big picture. The culprit isn't a person, really. It's something bigger than that. It's more like a force, and it commits its crimes through people, even through some feminists. Its goal is to cut dolls off from society, and its motive is power. But I'm onto it. I figured out the pattern, and if I look at these other case files, I'll be able to prove it. This isn't right. This is a mix-up. It says me. I'm the next case file. Amy O'Neil was a girl detective specializing in LGBTQ-related mysteries who disappeared on April 20th, 2024. The day of her disappearance, Amy derailed a case she was working on by spreading theories that were considered by many to be divisive and anti-feminist. Accordingly, the city suspended her private investigator license. No one has seen her since.
Speaking.
Hi, Jen, it's Amy. I just had a quick question. I saw something today that said my investigator license was revoked. I was wondering if you guys knew anything about that down at City Hall. trace of Sofia Castro after her speech? Because I don't understand how there can just be no trace of her. No! I'm sorry, I didn't mean to yell. No, no, please don't go. I'm so close to figuring out this case. We're close. I can't do this without you. I just need a little bit more time. And if I can explain myself, then everything is going to be okay. Please just don't leave. Please, you have to listen to me. You're being tricked right now, okay? There's this force, and I don't have a name for it yet, but it's controlling you. It's making you shut me out. You can fight it if you want to. I know you want to. I know you don't want to do this. Okay, I'm sorry. I know that what I did was sexist, and I apologize. Okay, I am so sorry. And I know that being sorry isn't enough, and I'm going to work and do better and do my best to learn, and I'm going to listen to the women that I hurt, and I'm going to do what they think is best. Okay, I'm so sorry. Just what can I do to make this right? What can I do? Please just tell me and I'll do it. What can I do? Please just tell me. I'll do anything. Just don't make me disappear. I'm Amy O'Neil, the sorriest excuse for a detective this side of the Pinkertons. Why are you still here? Maybe it's sympathy. Maybe some part of you wants to make sure this sad, beaten down detective turns out all right. Even if she is a manipulative misogynist. Maybe you just want to go. Still no, it doesn't actually change anything. Mia Torres disappeared after getting into a fight with an ally at her college. She was still seen online a few times after that, according to her friends. Lakeisha Johns disappeared after getting into an argument with her housemates. But she was still seen at bars a few times after that, even though she was dressed like a man and going by Robert. And, of course, Maddie Debates tried to do the whole podcast thing before she disappeared for good. Sometimes the doll tries to linger between here and there, not realizing that she's not here at all. Never will be. That's why I'm here, talking to you. Because I still want to solve this case. And the stupidest part of me thinks that if I can, you'll all let me back. And it can be like how it was. But I can't make someone listen if they'd rather plug their ears. So no, I haven't solved this case. But I can tell you what happens next. Sofia Castro, the second you didn't need us anymore, you showed all of us the door. Maddie Debates. They threw me out of the only home I've ever really had and locked the door behind me. And, of course, the doll who handed me this case in the first place. I've spent too much time peeking through the playroom windows and not enough time looking at the door. It doesn't take a girl detective to figure out where this one's going. And that's my cue. See, I figured out where all the dolls went. not the kind of place you come back from. I don't want to go through, but I don't have a choice. If there's one thing I learned from those files, it's that all dolls get shown the door, sooner or later. Gumshoes, I don't understand! I did everything I was supposed to, and it still turned out like this. I kept my wits, I tried my best to stick by others. I even held on to my magnifying glass. There was something on the Castro file that I noticed earlier. It looks like there's some writing in the margins. It's unreadable to the naked eye. But maybe if I look closer.
And here we are in Newark, along the banks of the Passaic, herewith, well, I guess I'm joined by a stunning, gorgeous, knockout, 5-star, hot-looking bitch named Sophia Castro.
Oh! Well, thank you very much.
Oh, I'm just stating what is patently obvious to anyone with eyes.
Wow. Are you trying to read me?
Well, maybe a little. But we're here with Sophia Castro. She's our newest and greatest real estate mogul here in New York City. Why don't you tell us about this property here, this gorgeous riverside encampment? Well, do you call it an encampment?
Well, an encampment is fine. You could call it a community. Because, you know, we got our tents over here, we got our barbecue grill right here, we got some chairs. We got more tents down out further on the pier. And you know, we're out of the city here, so they can't stop you from jaywalking.
Giuliani can't touch you out here, is that it?
That's right, that's right. And you know, we don't have any heat out here. We do have this river though, and that's nice. I like to sit out here and look at the river a lot of the time.
But I've been thinking, you know, just off the top of my head. I know 10 or 15 different gay liberation people who would love to have you move in. I mean, people who would be absolutely thrilled to have the Sophia Castro living with them. And I include myself in that.
Well, I've thought about it. Well, no, because you need to understand. It's not for me, okay? It's not. Because I could get a warm roof over my head, but my kids here, they would be out here without me. Because they are my kids, okay? They need me to be out there with them. So as long as they're out here, I'm gonna be out here too.
Don't you miss the movement?
This is my movement. I mean, they've got their movement, and they decided it's going to be a capitalist movement, and that's fine, but that's not my movement. My movement is right here. And I'm still fighting for it every day. That winter, Sophia moved herself and her kids to the dollhouse, a home for homeless trans women run by one of her daughters. She found a partner there and lived there for the rest of her days. I think I finally cracked the case. And yeah, it was my hardest one yet. It all made sense to me when I realized that I was looking at this mystery backwards. I was asking, where are all the missing dolls? And I should have been asking, who really is it that can't find us? Because Gumshoes, dolls are everywhere. We're on your bus, we're in your grocery store, along your jogging route in the park. We're there when you wonder what your life could have been. And we're there when the earth dreams of greener times. The truth is, the dolls aren't missing. We're only gone from your world. Can I tell you a secret? The mystery I was trying to solve that night wasn't Amelia Earhart or Jeff Whitaker. It was actually the first mystery I've ever tried to solve, and I've been stuck on it my whole career. It's the mystery of where I actually belong. And I don't know where that is yet, but I know how to find out. I'm going to go through the door. I'm going to go there, wherever they are, to love them and be loved by them. But don't worry, Gumshoes. I'll be back. While I'm over there, I'm going to be working with them, building with them, loving with them, until we're strong enough that no one can shove us out the door again. When that day comes, we'll all be back, bursting through your longest door, ready to take our place in the sun. And you can hold me to that. It's a girl detective's promise.